What it do, what it do? We back with another one. It's your boy Solo Sebi, and we gonna get right into it. This one a little old, it's about 7 months old, but since I was talking about the Snow Bunny incident, I had to go double back and pull up this one. So we gonna get into it.
Into the dating app death of a young woman, Lauren Smith Fields in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Investigative reporter Sarah Wallace delves into that mystery.
They wanted us to forget about our daughter, their sister, our loved one. They thought they was gonna just throw her away like she was
Garbage.
Amid this family's
Oh, I just folded. Let me get that back up for y'all.
anguish are emotions of outrage and disgust at how the Bridgeport Police Department has investigated the mysterious death of 23-year-old Lauren Smith Fields.
It was careless. It was no concern. There was no care for the family about how we felt, our grief, our pain, none of that.
The I-team obtained this police report of the response to a 911 call from Lauren's apartment on the morning of December 12th from a white male identified as Matthew LaFountain. The investigator notes he was trembling and visibly shaken. LaFountain said they met on the dating site Bumble, began drinking shots of tequila, and Lauren became ill. That later they played some games, ate some food, and started to watch a movie. He says he carried her to her bedroom and laid her in her bed. He then laid down next to her and fell asleep. He woke up again at approximately 0630 hours, and she was laying on her right side. Blood was coming out of her right nostril onto the bed, and she was not breathing.
The whole day goes by. No police reach out to the family at all.
Her close-knit family says they went to the apartment the next day after frantically calling and texting Lauren and were referred to a Detective Cronin.
They didn't even contact us. They didn't let us know anything. It's crazy. And I'm asking what's going on. He said she met some guy on Bumble. And I'm asking him about the guy. He's like, oh, you sound like a really nice guy. You sound like a really good guy. And he was like, I'll call you back. I just hung up in my face.
They say the detective promised to come by the apartment.
never showed up.
The family says the relationship with police devolved from there. No contact from December 13th until December 29th. They returned to the apartment to clear out Lauren's belongings and claim a new detective came by to say he'd taken over the case from Detective Cronin.
Detective said he effed up, he messed up. He effed Cronin, he messed up. He didn't know what he was doing. He messed up the case.
The family says they provided evidence they'd collected to crime scene investigators who arrived for the first time that day, included a bloody sheet and a pill.
And 2 cups of drinks or whatever next to a bottle. They didn't take none of that. We seen a condom. We seen lube, other stuff in there. They didn't take none of this.
Sources close to the investigation tell the I-team the Matthew LaFountain pictured in this social media photo, now removed, was the man at Lauren's apartment. A neighbor at his listed address in Milford confirmed LaFountain's identity, but we were unable to reach the 37-year-old who has not been accused of any wrongdoing. LaFountain's same image appeared under the name Matthew Thomas, now also taken down.
Anyone that genuinely cared and they were there, the last person there, and they know that nothing bad happened, you would at least even reach out to the family yourself. Listen, I know I'm sorry for your loss of your daughter or your sister.
The family's last contact with police was on January 4th at headquarters with their attorney.
What I believe is that the police failed to collect and preserve that environment from the first day.
The attorney has now filed a notice of claim to sue Bridgeport for negligence, claiming key evidence was not initially submitted to the state lab.
I feel like because he's a white guy and she's a black girl, it's just almost like they just throwing it under the rug.
That night she was silent, so now we are her voice. But we're here, and we're fighting for her.
The Bridgeport Police Department did not respond to repeated messages we left about the case, but in previous statements, they've said the investigation is open and active, and that detectives are waiting for a final report from the medical examiner on the cause and manner of death. Sarah Wallace, News 4 New York.
Also, we just received a statement from the
Oh, did I just fold again? Let's see.
dating site Bumble that Sarah mentioned. A spokesperson says, "We're deeply saddened by news of Lauren Smith Fields' death and have reached out directly to the family to offer support. We've been in contact with law enforcement, but they have not yet requested any information."
Wow. So yeah, we're gonna get right into it right now. And essentially this happened back in January. Miss Lauren, she went on this Tinder date or Bumble date, gotta get it right, with a white gentleman. And according to the gentleman, they linked up at the bar. Thing was going good. They ended up back at Lauren's place, her apartment, and the man is alleging that she woke up in the middle of the night and she was pretty much coughing up blood, and that's pretty much where it left off. She pretty much woke up, she was coughing up blood. The family members were trying to figure out where she was, and by the time they try contacting their daughter and they can't get in contact with her, the man Matthew is already gone. And by this point, the family goes there to find their sister, deceased. And from everything that we can see from this, initial report, seems like the police department really, dropped the ball. Like I said, we like to remain unbiased, but this is just what the evidence says. It's when the family initially tried to reach out to the police department and try to get some explanation on who she was last with, since they knew that she was out that night. The first detective got on the phone with the gentleman, whether it was her brother, I believe, and he hangs up on them after a couple minutes saying that, hey, we're gonna come in, we're gonna make sure that everything's okay. The guy seems like a nice guy. I don't know why the officer felt the need to say that, or the detective the need to tell the family that the guy she was last with seems like a nice guy. I mean, how would you know? Just off of first impression? But so he says that, and then he says that he's gonna come over to the apartment, but he never shows up. This is what we're paying for as taxpayers. This is why it is a huge disservice to this family that the proper protocols wasn't followed. To their point, there was a bunch of evidence left there that was left exposed, and granted, the family knew that they wasn't trying to touch it or tamper it, but what if someone else came in there and was able to or that gentleman that was last there was able to manipulate some of the stuff there. So they really dropped the ball there. And if that wasn't insult to injury enough, that last second of the news report said that Bumble, the actual dating platform that these two met up on, actually reached out to the family, unlike the police department, and let them know that they're sorry for their loss and their moment of grievance, and even offered to aid the police with any information necessary in regards to what happened. The Matthew individual, the person she was last seen with, is not being, accused of this murder. He's not being, I'm saying murder, he's not being looked into for the result of her death, and he's not even, considered a suspect right now. The family feels like, it's a race thing because Lauren is black, and the person she last seen with was white. That's pretty much the facts. This happened back in January, and I'll probably do an update to see if there's anything moving forward, but it looks like as of now it's kind of left cold, and they're just ruling it as natural causes. I wanted to talk about this story real quick because we're getting to the end, just because similar to that snow bunny thing, it's like, look, to all my brothers and sisters, the grass ain't always greener on the other side. When you dating outside your race, you still got to be on your P's and Q's, all right? Just because you feel like a brother might do this to you or a sister might do this to you, what, you think that just because you're dealing with a person from another culture that they can't be malice, they can't be, harmful? We got to be on our P's and Q's, all right? I know we want to go out there, have fun, meet new people, have new experiences, but it's not worth our life. Now their family's sitting there grieving for their loss, and they got to play the game with the government and the justice system in hopes that they could get some justice for their daughter. It's a shame. So that's what I want to talk about. Just double back on this topic. What do y'all think? Get at me in the comments. Do you think that this was foul play? Do you think it was natural causes? Get at me in the comments. If anyone know any updates too on the story, let's talk about it amongst ourselves. This was another banger, and I'm going to see y'all for the next one. Solo Sebi out.